most creative scores in the W.
Starting to go on a rampage here. They've cut it to 5.
And with the first overall selection in the 2023 NHL draft, the Chicago Blackhawks are very proud to select from the Regina Pats, the Western Hockey League, Connor Bedard.
What is going on, everybody? This is Mike Hughes, and you're listening to another episode of Skyline on the All Sports, All Plays Network. Got a special one today. I had to break out the hat. I had to break out the jersey because we have the best dressed player in the entire WNBA. Rookie forward for the Chicago Sky, Robyn Parks. We've got her on the show today. Robyn, how we feeling?
Nah, we feeling real good. I like that intro, too. I appreciate you.
Man, come on. I always see the pregame fits. I always see the pregame.
I be trying.
I'm gonna pull that out right away. We're gonna have that conversation. Before we get into Robyn telling her story, I gotta fill you guys in on what she's been doing in her rookie year outside of just hooping. We gotta talk about the pregame outfits. Usually people are getting dressed up, doing their thing, but Robyn's always repping a jersey or just wearing something fly. Robyn, take me through what goes through a pregame fit. What is the idea? What are you going for? And where are these jerseys coming from? Is there more to the collection that we haven't even seen yet?
Probably. I feel like I have a lot of jerseys. I was talking to a friend. They said like they feel like that's the East Coast thing. So I'm from Maryland, so I guess like on the East Coast we wear like sports jerseys a lot as like kind of fits. Yeah, I guess that's the thing. That's like my thing. Like I don't know. I like to show love. I feel like I was in the city of Chicago this summer, so I want to put on for like the teams out there, the professional sports teams. Like in the preseason, I rock the Blackhawks jersey, and you know what I'm saying, through the Cubs jersey, on the White Sox. So I just be trying to show love, like wherever I go. When we went to LA, I had the Dodgers jersey on. So yeah, that's all that is.
You had me messed up though. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was rocking with you so heavy, and then I saw that Sox one, and I was like, nah, ain't no way she switched up like that.
You know, it's crazy. The people who take the pictures and stuff, they said the same thing. They was like, "Yo, you just had on the Sox jersey. You can't throw on the Cubs jersey." I'm like, "Hey, man, it's I don't even like either of them teams, but it's just all about the city. Like it's Chicago, so
you know what? It's okay if you don't like the Cubs. You just can't like the Sox. You know what I mean?
Like the Sox.
It's just what it is. It's just what it is. It's a mutual respect. You could like any other team. I will never say a word. You like the Cardinals or the Sox, and it's like it's over. It's over.
Dang. All right, that's my bad. I ain't know. I know now though. I got you.
She didn't know, so we'll let her slide. But we talked a little bit about Maryland. We just had Taylor Soul on. She's obviously from the Chi, but she moved to Maryland very young, having those conversations, really understanding what it was like for her growing up. I want to get it from your perspective. What was it like growing up in Maryland? And here's the big one that I know you're going to be excited about: Maryland hoops. Take me through what that's like. How are the runs down there, and what's that like growing up playing basketball?
Man, shoot, Maryland. I feel like we got a different type of breed of hoopers out there in Maryland. I don't know if you know. You probably do know that documentary that came out about. I think KD was a part of that, like Something in the Water, because he from Maryland, along with like Mike Beasley. Some top hoopers is from Maryland. Like, so growing up out there, the bump Maryland basketball is just, I don't know, it's just different. Like we play, I feel like it's just a different type of swag, different type of style. So yeah, that's I feel like that's why I hoop the way I hoop. It's more like a street ball type, like one-on-one type of just style to play out there. So yeah.
Most definitely. So we got another segment we always do on here. I got it from my guy Jim. I saw your aunt. I love that. I love that you're living that life, but I gotta ask, because this one gets a little complicated. Sometimes I get brothers and siblings hitting me up saying, "Nah, they're capping." Best athlete in the family, is it Robyn Parks or is it someone else?
Absolutely, and anybody in my family would tell you that. Like maybe before I made it to the W, they would have been like, but it's no type of speculation that like they know what it is. Like it's me. And I say that as humbly as possible, but they know what's up. Like it's yeah.
No, most definitely, most definitely. So we talk about that all the time, though, is like growing up and having that competitive nature and where that comes from, especially being a woman in basketball. You grow up going to the court, you playing against men, you playing against men, you playing against
Absolutely.
boys, you doing what you got to do.
Absolutely.
So what really stemmed for you? Where did that come from? Who really taught you the game, and just what was that like for you growing up, and kind of break that narrative of like, yo, like I'm a hooper and I'm here and you're gonna have to see me.
Shoot. Well, my dad was really who introduced me to basketball. He used to hoop back in his day, like in the Air Force. So he used to take me and my brother to the gym to watch him play. And I feel like I fell in love with the game like instantly. Like during halftime and stuff, I'd ask to go out there and shoot the ball. And I'm little at this time. I'm like 3, 4 years old. Like it barely, not even really running for real. But I just loved. It was something about basketball that I was just drawn to. So I started playing basketball at a very young age, and then, like you say, like outside in the neighborhood, it's me and the guys, like like me, my brother against the guys, like so. Yeah, that's why I play the way I play. I feel like I forgot what else you asked, but yeah, that's basically the sum of it. Like, yeah, my dad introduced me to it, and yeah, I feel like once I started going to like open gyms and stuff, and guys was picking me on their team, before even other guys was getting picked up, that's when I knew I was like, oh, they really rocking with me because guys ain't really they be trying to play with girls. Like you see a girl in the gym, you like, man, we ain't putting her on the team because who gonna guard her and who she gonna guard? But nah, the dudes is rocking with me. Like I feel like I always got picked up. I don't think it was ever a time I never got picked up in the gym.
I know plenty of times I stopped at 5'8", Robyn. I'm not gonna lie to you. Once high school came, there was like, yeah, Mike ain't the one. And I was like, oh man,
Yeah,
oh
it's kind of
man.
crazy. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I was oh man, bro. I started playing baseball, Robyn. I was like, it's over. It's done.
Dang, yo,
I was
I
like,
killed
it's
the
done.
dreams.
You gotta do what you gotta do. You know what I mean? Like you gotta see fit where you can go.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
looking at high school, North Point, having those conversations about where you want to be and the kind of player that you want to grow into be. I didn't get a chance to really see that kind of film or even just look up the stats based on it. Couldn't find it, but I was wondering, was it always I'm a forward, or were there I know Taylor was telling me, she's like, I want to be a point guard, I want to be this, I want to be, you know what I mean? And having those conversations, did you always know like, hey, I'm a forward in this league, or did they kind of move you around?
I feel like I've been moved around like my whole life. I feel like that's because I'm so versatile though, and my height sometimes is a factor. Like in college, I was strictly the 4 or 5. I didn't
Mhm.
play a guard at all. But naturally, I feel like just with my ability, I could be a guard. I feel like I really could play 2 through sometimes because I can handle the ball really well too. I mean, I don't really get to show it a lot in a W. But yeah, I can handle the ball well. So I feel like I could play 1 through 4, honestly, like just being honest.
Man,
So
Emre, you heard
it's
that? Emre, you heard that?
yeah,
I
go
just want
ahead.
to know. I just want to know. I want that
Nah,
on the record.
right, cool. He got, nah, it's cool.
We
Like, yeah, nah, I understand. Everybody got their role they gotta play. That ain't my role here.
No,
So
for sure. Hey, Emre, all I'm saying, game
yeah,
2 game plan. We got Robyn at point. They ain't gonna see it
I'm
coming.
crying.
They ain't gonna
Nah.
see it coming. But no, you
Yeah, but
talked about
nah.
that though.
Actually, my first year overseas, I had to play the one because our point guard got hurt. I had to play the one.
Most
So
definitely, most
yeah,
definitely,
so
and
I've
I
definitely been moved around like throughout my whole career. 2, 3, whatever, 4 sometimes. Like how here I'm playing a 4 sometimes in the W, 3,
mhm,
4. So yeah, as long as I'm on the court, I really don't care what position you got me at. I'm just
right,
trying to hoop.
right.
You feel me?
Nah, that's definitely it. And that was the point I was gonna go to as well. Like obviously VCU was such a big part of what made you who you are. And I saw you talk about that. I saw a couple articles on it where I mean over 125 games from 2010 to 2014. I mean, that's just absolutely incredible. And
Mm,
it's one of those things where it's like that's really where you find out who you are.
mm,
But talking about that in those college years, I was wondering for you, what was the idea of is the W possible? Because obviously 2010, 2014 is a very different time from today. And you have those conversations about scouts and how serious people took the W
mhm,
back then and just how much it's
mhm,
changed from, I mean, you look at the Caitlin Clarks and the Angel Reeses of the world with NIL
mhm.
deals. What was that like for you? Was there anything? I remember Morgan said, man, I couldn't tell you what Morgan said, but she said she got a degree in something that's like science. It's the craziest thing in the world. And
Okay.
she was like, yeah, if basketball didn't work out, I was going to be like an engineer, something
Mm.
crazy. Like, and I was just like, okay, but was it strictly I'm coming to hoop, or was there ever like a backup plan?
I'm not gonna lie to you. It was strictly 100%. I'm coming to hoop. Like that was it. I didn't really even care about the school. Now I'm not saying that's good. Kids, if you listening to this, please
Hey,
take school very, very serious. I started taking school very serious, but not till like later. Like I was a junior in college, like, but whatever. But nah, like school is very important. But for me, nah, I knew what I wanted to do, and I think it's a quote by like Kobe Bryant or something, but it's like basically like if you work hard to achieve your plan A, you don't even really need a plan B, like because people be telling you like don't put all your eggs in one basket. If that's what you do, then you better work your ass off to make sure that that plan gonna work. And I feel like that was my mentality. I don't know if it was gonna be the W. I absolutely had no idea it was gonna be the W, but I just knew that hoops was going to be for me, and I was going, take it as far as I could go.
no, most definitely. And I do want to reiterate, we are not saying to anybody to drop out of school, but all
Nah,
I am saying is I'm a firm believer, and I've heard this. I don't know if that was from Kobe or from someone else, but I heard relatively the same thing. And it was basically like, if you have a plan B, plan A already failed because you're
mm-hmm.
not putting everything into it. And
Facts.
even what I texted you last night about that understanding of like, yeah, this
Mm-hmm.
shit's not going to go great, and bad things are going to happen, but you got to go through something to become something. And I think it's just one of the more beautiful things in the world that Robyn Parks not only ends up in the W, but she ends up with Chicago, especially after what Rebecca Gardner went through just a year ago, talking about her and what she's been able to do and making her
Mm-hmm.
mark. For you, I was wondering how impactful is an individual like that who obviously is overseas the majority of her career, coming from UCLA too, and finds her way around relatively the same age, having that conversation like, hey, we're rookies now. So how impactful was that for you seeing that last year?
I mean, seeing stories like Beck, it's just inspiring, and I feel like it gives people like myself and others hope who may have lost hope of maybe achieving their goals and dreams and making it to the league. Like it's like, it's never too late. Even if you think it is too late, like just keep working because you literally never know what can happen. So yeah, Beck's story is definitely inspiring. Like, yeah.
And then we're getting into it, talking about obviously overseas basketball, playing in Spain the majority of the time, 5 teams that you were on. The Warrior. I'm going to talk about the Warrior right now. That's what everybody deems you out there as. She's a household name. I want to ask you where the Warrior came from and what that experience was like. Obviously, seeing so many different cultures over the years and just different styles of basketball. I mean, you look at FIBA basketball, especially in women's basketball versus the W. It's no disrespect to the W, but it's like you said, people don't see,
Yeah.
and I mean this respectfully, it has nothing to do with the Sky, has nothing to do with the W, but they don't see the real Robyn Parks because it's so systematic and you have to play into this role. You go overseas. I mean, we got Steph Curry over here. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. That's
It gets kind of crazy over there. You absolutely right. Yeah, but the Warrior. So the Warrior came from actually this past year in Italy. I feel like I spent majority of my time in Spain, but I feel like honest in Spain, I feel like they kind of put me in a box. Like I was the shooter out there, so that was kind of my role in Spain. But when I got to Italy, my team there, they let me go crazy. They just let me play Robyn Parks basketball, and I think they saw like, oh wow, like this is like it took us to some great heights. So I think that's where the Warrior came from, and they've been rocking with me. I love it out there, and that's why I'm going back.
most definitely. And that was going to be my follow up because I know there's been so many different conversations. I know Kyle was big on like, hey, I'm just going to stay home because I want to focus on ball. She's at a place right now where it's like she don't got to
Right,
worry about a lot of
right,
things.
right.
Especially after that Supermax the other day. Come on,
Right,
tell them,
right, right.
tell
Shout
them,
out to
Kyle.
her for the Supermax. Get the bag. Yeah. That's the
Most
goal, though.
definitely.
That's what we all striving towards. So.
But for
Shout
you,
out to
I'm
her.
wondering, is it about the money or is it just because of how much you love playing overseas basketball and obviously just continuing that year round? Because we always have those conversations, the NBA, they get to use the facilities, they get to
Right,
use so many
right.
different things year round. Hey, you walk into Wintrust Arena around February, the DePaul boy is going to
The
be like,
Paul, right.
what y'all doing here? Like, but
Right.
for you, is that important that it keeps you on your toes, it keeps you fresh, it keeps you going throughout the year?
Um, I would say yes. Yeah. I feel like it's probably like 95.5. Like I'm doing 95 because I love it. Like 5% because I love the money too. But I'm just a
Come on.
hooper. I feel like playing year round, it's a lot. I'm not gonna lie. But it keeps me fresh. I've always said like I don't want to get out of shape because I don't want to have to deal with getting back in shape. So if I could just, what I'm saying, just stay, in shape, in basketball shape year round, I feel like that's ideal for me. So that's why I don't mind going overseas or playing year round. Because even before I was in the W, I was still playing year round. I had my European season, and then I would do something in the summer.
Most
So
definitely. Most definitely. And for you, is that something that you want to see the W like kind of just take more control over? Is like, hey, like we want to keep them over here. We want to be able to have those conversations where it's a year-round salary and it's not okay, good luck. You know what I mean? Like for all the media guys, I'm going to be back at UPS in a couple of weeks and we're going to be working our overnights,
right.
but we'll be back. We'll be back next March. It'll be lit again. But is that something
Yeah.
that you really want to see them take that next step and have those conversations?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think that would be dope because I mean, at the end of the day, I feel like it would just be amazing to be able to play in your home base. You know what I'm saying? Like in
Mm.
America, like you don't have your parents or friends don't have to fly millions of miles. You know what I'm saying? Just to come see you play. So yeah, being able to keep, and a lot of girls don't want to go over there anyway. Like they only doing it because they get that crazy bag over there. So. But yeah, if you could keep girls here that don't want to go, and you pay them what they're worth or what they feel like they're worth, then I definitely think that should definitely be a discussion or something that the league should definitely be trying to work towards. Yeah, for sure.
Most definitely. And you even heard Brittany Griner talk about it when she got back. She was like,
Mm,
you think I like just missing Thanksgiving and Christmas every year? You
exactly.
think like I enjoy
Exactly.
that? Like it's a nice option to have, hey, I can go play overseas and play basketball, but the
Mhm.
fact that you can't leave because then you're missing a check is like it's
It's
definitely
crazy.
it's a crucial part of it.
Yeah,
We
for
even
sure.
talk about Kaz Supermax. Like you look at those conversations and a supermax in the WNBA isn't even a minimum in the NBA. And those are the conversations
Crazy.
where it's like what are we talking about? At
That's
some
crazy.
point, if to me personally, this is me speaking, not Robyn Parks, but the big thing is like, okay, cool. If this is the salaries, then we should be able to have our own facilities. We should be able to see what Las Vegas is doing right now, what New York has been doing. And I'm hoping our guy D Wade's going to be able to handle a lot of that and advocate for a lot of things. I think, he understands what it is and
Yeah.
he's going to be able to do that to the best of his ability, but that should just be a league conversation. That shouldn't be an owner conversation. That should just be already established.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. No, for
Mhm.
sure.
But talking about Italy, because I mean, come on, that's where my love came from. The Italian kid
Okay.
I saw Robyn Parks just killing it over there, and I was like, man, that's crazy. But I want to talk a little bit about James Wade having those conversations. Obviously, that man with the Sky got busy. I mean, the second
For
the
sure.
season's over, he's out there finding individuals like you, finding Misamin, finding Altman, finding Bex, finding everybody. When was your introduction to James Wade before you were invited to camp?
Um, Honestly, I want to say it might have been on that 2021 championship run. That's when I really, was hearing his name like a lot in the media and hearing about him as a great coach and things of that nature. So yeah, probably in 2021. Yeah.
And then scouting you for obviously going into 2023, like how does that even work with him? Because I've heard him say it before where he's like, yeah, I just show up to their games and then talk to them. And then I've heard other times where it's like, yeah, he just gets on the phone. Like, he's got to do it a certain
Yeah.
kind of way. For you, what was that experience like? How did the man, the myth, the legend approach you?
Shoot, that's crazy. He didn't even come to one of my games. One day, it's crazy. I'll never forget. I was just laying down about to take a nap before the game, and my agent texted me and was like, "I got to talk to you about something really important." So I'm thinking it's something, dealing with the next upcoming European season. And he was like, "James Wade from Chicago Sky is going to call you." And I remember like sitting up, like I'm laying down. I sat up and looked at my phone, like, "You serious? Like, call me for what? Like, what?" I was so confused. I'm like, okay. So I gave him my number. I gave my agent my number to give it him. And I gave my agent the okay to give him my number. And he called me like a couple days later and we just was talking. It was a great conversation. Almost like an interview for real. Like he was just asking me like, like what I would say like my strengths is on the court, my weaknesses, like how I am as a person, as a player. So yeah, he said he was watching my game. He knew, a little familiar with me. So that's how that happened. And
No.
yeah. Yeah, now I'm here.
Man, first it was 3 years ago. I started working for Sky Media, and I remember I asked him a question, and he responded with another question, and he was trying to find out if I knew ball or not. And it's like it's mad intimidating. You're like, man,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
thinking I'm about to ask you some stuff, and I've had players tell me the same thing. Like they call him like expecting to ask questions about the Sky. He's asking questions about you, and it's like, well, don't you're thinking in your head like don't you already know me? It's like, nah,
Yeah,
I'm trying to see how
yeah.
you respond to stuff though.
Yep,
It's the craziest thing, but
yep.
you get invited, you have these completely altering changes to your life. Obviously, being a part of the W, I mean, it's a different
Sure,
conversation coming back
for
home.
sure.
What was that like for you telling your family and just letting everybody know, like, yo, like it happened?
Man, exciting. And the crazy part is like when I got invited to training camp, I will always say like, like, well, if I make the team, and everybody, all my friends and family was like, stop saying that. It's a win. We know
Right.
you're going to make it because all of them are very familiar with my game. So they were just like, if we just going off of what we see, we know you gonna make that team. So it ain't lit. So everybody was excited, obviously, but it was basically already just confirming what they already knew was going to happen. So nobody was really like like crazy surprised. I'm sure my mom or something probably cried because she was just tears of joy. But yeah, no, that was a cool experience for sure.
Man, I cried. I saw another 3-point shooter on the Sky, and I cried. I was like, man, thank God. I saw Court leave. I saw everybody leave. I was like, man, something. I was like, this is kind of. I was looking at Kai and Dana, and I was like, man, this is about to be a
Yeah,
crazy season for real.
yeah.
But
It has been a crazy season.
and you
Yeah.
know what? The craziest part is like once everybody came into the picture, it was obviously Izzy and Marina and everybody else. It's like, okay, cool, like we can rock with this. But for that 2 week period of Sloot's gone and Allie's gone and Candace is going to LA, and it was
Yeah,
like, what you mean, like the Spark?
yeah,
And they're like, nah,
yeah,
she's going to Vegas. And I was like, nah. And it's like Stewie and Sloot. And I was like, nah. And bro, like you have these conversations and you're like, all right, so what is this even going to look like? And
yeah.
I guess the point I wanted to get with you at is, was there any pressure for you with those conversations? Because obviously you had been following up with this guy, you have known of him, you heard about it, about 2021. Was there any expectation or kind of just like nerves in like, hey, I kind of have to come in here and fill anybody's shoes?
Oh no, not feel shoes. Honestly, it was nerves, but not because I felt like I had to fill anybody's shoes. It was just
Right.
nerves because I was stepping into something totally different, like an area in my life that I had never been in before. So,
Mhm.
when you stepping into something new like that, that's gonna be nervous because it's gonna be a challenge. So anytime you're going up against a challenge, I feel like it's natural to have nerves. So that's why I had nerves, not because I feel like I had to fill anybody's shoes though.
Right, for sure. And we've talked about that with so many other players and having those conversations of like the best thing for you is to be you. And I think when you obviously have the fan side of it where it's like you just had Candace and all these other individuals on this team, and that's great. But like for you to expect that it to just be different names, same outcome, it's like these are totally different play styles, a totally different team. Like we
Mhm.
talked about the team last year, and it's no disrespect because they were so great at what they did. They were
Mhm.
like, I said it was like a Chris Paul type offense. It was slowed down, but you weren't going to be able to do anything about it. And then you
Right.
have a team like this year. They still have the defensive fold. They still have everything they can bring in, but you guys were fast. I mean, you guys
Yeah.
were. I'm like, I
Yeah.
haven't seen them run this fast in a minute. Like,
Yeah.
it's just,
Yeah.
but it comes with the territory of
Right.
Candace
I
and
feel like we
Allie and
gotta be.
Snoop.
Yeah. We gotta be fast. That's our
Right.
strength. I feel like this team for sure.
Even
Yeah.
even even yesterday, Emery was like, we play fast, and I kind of looked up in the press, and I was like, man, sometimes it's nice just hearing that. Like I
Yeah.
love fast paced basketball. That's really where
Yeah.
I'm at with. Like,
Yeah.
shout out to the Nuggets, shout out to Denver, but I hate watching Jokic because I'm like, bro, you are
Yeah.
so slow,
It's so
Joe. Like,
slow.
move, bro. Like,
Yeah.
go
Nah, for real. Move, please. Yeah.
right. But
Absolutely.
who's gonna stop him? You know what I mean? Like I can't be mad at it. It's working, so I ain't gonna say nothing. But you get to this part of the season, and I want to ask you about Toronto, how that felt, and just that experience as a whole. What was the six like, and just that experience of being a part of something that's bigger than the W. It was such a huge
Mhm.
expansion.
First of all, just being a part of history, that's dope in itself. Like, even if I wouldn't have made the team, like I still would have been a part of that game a part of history. So I think that in itself is just such a huge accomplishment. But the Six showed so much love out there. Like, it was crazy. We had the time of our lives out there. And that basketball game was jumping. That thing was going stupid. Like, the fans, that you could just feel the energy, like from the minute you stepped in the arena. Like, oh my goodness, the energy was crazy in here. I had the time of my life in Canada. I loved everything about it, and I hope they get a team out there too soon in the future, because that would be dope.
Most definitely. You know, we were talking about it with Taylor, and I was like, man, you saw so many amazing players on that team that didn't actually make the team. Kayana
Mm-hmm.
Traylor, which
Mm-hmm.
was such a huge impact. I mean, she's knocking down 13 points in that game, and I'm like, I'm looking
Facts.
at her, and I'm like, we got her near the second round. Like, that's crazy. Like, you start to see, like, and she's hooping right now in Minnesota, and all love
Yep.
to her.
Yep. Yep.
But you know, you see these individuals coming in, and you're like, this was our first taste as not only media but as fans. Like, okay, cool. The Sky, like, we got it. Like, we
Mm-hmm.
got some good ones here. But
Yeah.
having that conversation about expansion, I was wondering for you, what are I'm gonna name drop 3 cities, and I want you to say which one you think deserves it more. And we can
All
throw
right.
in Canada too. We can
All right.
Canada's its own. You know, we
Okay.
definitely want to get international.
All right.
I wrote these ones down because I thought you'd like them: Detroit, Philly, or Miami.
I'm gonna say Miami because I know Miami will go crazy.
Man,
Yeah, Miami.
I'm already knowing Jimmy Butler and everybody's gonna
Mm,
be there. It's gonna be the crazy.
yeah,
I
that
mean,
would be
come on,
crazy.
it's gonna be wild. But I was leaving, like, even with Ka, like, we were having conversations about it, like, not with her, but just like with fans and stuff, having
Mm,
questions in the comments. Like, you think Ka's gonna resign? You think she's gonna leave? I'm like, bro,
mm.
Ka will leave for one reason and one reason only, and that's if Philly basketball got a
Nah, for
WNBA
real.
team. As the
For real.
it's the only way I
For
saw
real.
anything like that happening. But like, thinking about those big names and even just having conversations, like, how does Detroit, Philly, Miami not have a team right now? How are there these big market towns that don't have anything? And I think you're going to start seeing that so much more. You're going to start to see so many more Robyn Parks of the world, so many more Rebecca Gardners that get opportunities. The more teams that we expand, the more things that we
Exactly.
do.
Exactly. I think that's the most important thing. Like, you want these girls to be able to showcase, like, it's a lot of girls that can hoop that ain't in the W. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of girls across the water. Some ain't even across the waters. They don't even hoop no more. But that's just because they never got the opportunity. But it's some hoopers out here, and I feel like, yeah, like, the league should definitely broadcast, showcase them hoopers, man, all over. Yeah, for sure.
Most definitely. We got a couple more questions for you. We know that Vegas life is waiting, but breaking down your rookie year, obviously, there's a lot of things that happen, from the
Mm,
injuries to the head coach and the GM changes and everything that went through that. There's a roller coaster, but
mhm,
we're not going to sit here and talk about anything about that other than your game and what you wanted to focus on. And I was wondering, going into this season, obviously everybody has an expectation for themselves.
mm.
Everybody says, this is what I want to accomplish. This is my goal. And I was wondering not only what those goals were for you, but do you think you accomplished them? And what are you looking forward to moving forward after your rookie year?
That's a great question. Honestly, I don't know if I could say that I actually had specific goals. Cause this wasn't even, I'm not even supposed to be here, honestly. I didn't even know I was gonna be here.
I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that at all. That's the warrior. That's the warrior. I
Nah,
don't
for
want to hear
sure,
it.
for sure. I'm just saying I ain't even see this, you know what I'm saying? This is God for real. But hmm, oh yeah, I can't really say I had goals, man. But I really just wanted to kind of just make a name for myself. You know what I'm saying? Just be able to adapt, because I knew it was going to be very, very different than anything I was used to. So yeah, just to be able to adapt, to just retain as much information as I can, to just learn. Really, I just came in here as a sponge, just soaking up all the game from, like, all the vets. You know what I'm saying? Like Courtney, Ka, whoever, you know what I'm saying, is willing to give advice. So that's really all I wanted to do. Come here, learn, figure out how I could be better, take what I learned here back overseas and even be more of a killer. That really was, if I say I had goals, those was really just my goals. Like,
Without a
so,
doubt.
and I do think I've accomplished all of those. I feel like I'm better mentally, physically than when I got here. So yeah.
Without a doubt. And obviously already taking the W by storm, best dressed in the game. I mean, come on, let's have
My
a
God.
conversation about it. Let's have a conversation about it. I mean,
God.
dripping. But
My
you know,
God.
breaking that down though and talking about the sponge aspect of it, who was somebody early on in this year? I know we didn't get to see a lot of Izzy, but
Mhm.
everybody in consideration here, whether it's Bex, Izzy, whoever, who is somebody that you wanted to learn from, whether on the sky or just watching their game in person, playing against them on a different team?
Shoot, definitely Beck, just because I knew we had very similar stories. Ka for sure, just because leader, franchise player, of course, like elite. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, everybody. I feel like it's not one person on this team who I feel like I can't learn from, and I don't care who it is. So, like I said, I just was here to soak up all the game. It didn't matter who it was from. So, yeah,
Without
that's
a doubt. Without a doubt. Robyn, we appreciate you being here.
no
We always want to have you back. Whenever you want, you are
appreciate
always
that.
welcome back.
No,
You could check her out on Instagram and all social medias at Rob24P. See
yes,
her
sir.
game outfits, everything she's got going on. She be on a
Yes,
yacht
sir.
sometimes. She be on the boats. She be living.
Yeah, I'll be out
But
here for sure.
but
Follow
but
me.
with that being said, though, for real, you can check her out Sunday, game 2 against the Aces in Las Vegas, 2 o'clock Central. Skytown's definitely got to represent, got to show out because they definitely gave us a season that, man, we didn't even deserve. Everything that happened, everything that went down, they definitely deserved every single moment of it. They finally got to the playoffs. We appreciate you being here. This is Mike Hughes from Mike on the Mic.